Thank you. Thanks, Nick, for coming.
Yeah.
It's 4th episode for TLP. I appreciate you coming out. It means a lot. I guess we're going to start with just a little bit of history about you, background, what you're doing now, what you did in the past.
Yeah, for sure, man. I just wanted to start off by saying thank you, guys. I'm very grateful for the opportunity and love what you're doing here. We're trying to build the community and just putting entrepreneurs on, or everyone that's moving and shaking and doing something good for this world, right? So good on you, boys. I want to tip my hat to you for that.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, a little bit about me. So born and raised Dufferin and Sinclair.
Nice.
Have Italian background. Parents are from there. So I'm third generation, second generation. So yeah, I'm third generation. Yeah. And, started off as, sorry, I'll go again, boys. Yeah.
Take your time.
Yeah. So background is Italian, born and raised Dufferin and Sinclair. So I'm a city boy, at heart. And, a little bit about me personally. Born and raised at Dufferin and Sinclair, then grew up always in the city, but had a lot of friends that lived in the Vaughan area. Love sports, I love hockey. Always trying to keep active with that. I'm in a beer league now, so we're bums. We're in like tier 5, right? Just giving her, but yeah, we take home some hardware, pretty often. So we're good. We're a good hockey player in the bum leagues.
Nice.
Have a lot of fun with that. Father of 3, got an awesome wife who's an absolute rock star. She's put up with my stuff now we've been married 6 years. Beautiful. Been with her since I was 19. I'm 34, so 15 years. Yeah, wow. She's my rock, and they're my world.
For sure.
Do everything for them these days. Always have them top of mind, and definitely, my priority by a landslide for sure. Mm-hmm. Which I guess is what it was the driving force to take me out of the prior industry that I was in, which was nightlife and hospitality and entertainment. Yeah. So I'll go right into my entrepreneurial career. Yeah, fresh out of school, never really jived with the curriculum.
Like me.
Yeah. The I don't even know what it is. Curriculum. Yeah.
Academics.
The curriculum and me and the school system just didn't jive. So right out of high school, right into the workforce. My father was a general contractor, so I was a general laborer on all of his sites and did work in his mill workshop for many years. And my parents always knew that it just wasn't going to work with me, and I wasn't going to be going to college or university, and I had to get my butt to work. That was their thing. If you're not going to excel in this, we want you to really, really apply yourself and build up a solid work ethic, right? Because whatever it is you want to do, that's what's going to be able to pay the bills. Put your heart and soul into it and work your butt off, right?
Exactly.
So he brought me to work. He started bringing me to work at a very, very young age.
Yeah.
Around 13 years old, I was working in his mill workshop and on his site on the weekends and evenings as a general laborer, doing mostly demo, right?
Yeah. Cleaning up.
He really wanted to see me break my back because he didn't like the fact that I wasn't good in school, but he had to deal with it. So he liked seeing me struggle on those job sites when we were doing some hefty demo. And then, so I was doing that, and I was also a busboy. So I worked as a busboy at a restaurant in the Annex called the News Cafe for my cousin Gus.
Nice.
And I absolutely fell in love with that industry. That's where the love started for nightlife and entertainment. Just because I'd see like all these, cool club owners make that their stopover before they'd go down to their club. It was actually a pretty popular restaurant for that because my cousin had a decent network with knowing a lot of the guys in the club scene. Yeah. So they would come and eat and I would just think they were like the coolest thing ever, And I'd say, when I grow up, I want to own a club too. I want to be in the scene. I want to, just have a solid network and just have kind of like that that whole cool guy kind of swag, right?
For sure.
So at a young age, I stuck it out and worked in the back in the kitchen, busboy, bar back. At 19, moved into Eat My Martini as a bartender, right?
Nice.
And all this was happening, obviously, as well. That was my full-time thing right out of high school, was in the trades. with
On
my
the side,
father
I
as a
guess you were
general
doing this.
laborer. This was on the side. Yeah, this was more weekends and evenings, and then full-time was general labor for my pop. And then it was, so it was 18 bartending. And then at that point in time, at 18, 19, I think it was 19, I told my pops, I said I wanted him more so as a father and not as a boss. I loved them, like crazy, and just it was like you bring a lot home with you.
You do,
and for me that really affected me and how I looked at him as a father. It was starting to, because I was growing and being groomed to take over the company and was kind of put in a bigger role.
For sure.
So it became pretty intense, right? Not just demo sites breaking my back anymore. There was some managerial responsibilities, and with that, it always becomes just a little bit more intense. So naturally,
Especially with family.
Yeah, brought that home. Didn't want that. I said, Pops, I want you as a dad, not as a boss, and whatever that means for me. Even if I got to go find my own way, I'll do that, right? Yeah. So hooked up with a couple of the cool guys that he used to contract the electrical work out to. Nice. Hopped on, with them, so they brought me on. So I was doing, so I was doing my apprenticeship with them, and I was fourth year apprentice, right? So I took it 4 years. And then at that point in time, that's when, so back to the nightlife and entertainment stuff, I was bartender, moved into promoter, right? And that's when I started NRG, right? Yeah. And NRG was the promotion company that I just fell completely in love with, just building community and building networks and having a lot of guys work for the promotion company that we looked at more so like a family. Like we got down together, right? Yeah. And they were a bunch of cool dudes. And girls too that worked for us. So it was like this big, young, family. Cool family in the nightlife scene that just took a life of its own. So it got to the point where between electrical during the day, side jobs on the weekends, and promoting, it was crazy. It was a lot. It was long days, and I always had a room with my brother growing up. We always bunked together. So I remember one night, I'll never forget this, where I was just kind of like, dude, I'm strung out, man. Like I can't do this all anymore. Like I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown or something. I'm burnt out, right?
Yeah. You go home, you're dead.
Yeah, and then you gotta go back out to work, right, in the clubs. So and then I remember, like, my brother's like always like, he's very well calculated, very like risk adverse, understands like when to shut off and not to real push it. Like goes to the beat of his drum right now. He's a farmer in the sticks in Campbellford, small town, right? So very chilled out lifestyle, right? That's so cool. Yeah, he always had that kind of chilled out approach, and he and I was like, what do you think? Like, what should I do? He's like, you love it. You love the nightlife stuff. He's like, man, just do that. Yeah. Give it a shot. Like, you're young enough. Like, if it doesn't work out, you can always fall back on what it is you were doing before. Exactly. But I was like, all right, cool, done. I'm gonna do exactly that. Yeah. And I just made the leap. I made the leap. I went for it. Pinned that throttle down, went hard every day, just always doing something for the company. Always, if I wasn't physically doing something for it, or physically in a place hosting, or doing phone calls or emails, I was thinking about it. It was literally like all the time, because I loved it. I loved it. Yeah. And fast forward, right, all the way up into 2019. So I was in the business for about 13 years total. We had a lot of success, man. I owned 8 nightclubs in total, 6 of which were in Toronto, 2 of which were in Miami. The promotion company, we won the Promoter of the Year 9 years consecutively. Wow. I won Club Owner of the Year the last 3 years I was in the business, and we racked up a bunch of other awards too, like Staff of the Year, Best Party of the Year, all that stuff. So we really, at the Toronto Nightclub Awards. So we really we did what we came to do, kind of thing, and it got to that point where I was becoming a father, right? So I had my first child, and then my second and third very shortly after, and I was faced with that decision where, for me, my number one priority is being the best dad that I could be. Yeah. And that's a priority that's like, it's it's like the second isn't even close to it. Like it's by a landslide it's in first place, you know?
First priority.
Yeah. So being in the nightlife and entertainment and hospitality industry and being involved in so many different companies, at that time we had over 100 staff members, whether it was bottle service, bartenders, promoters, managers, partners, just the list goes on. There was a lot of moving parts. So I lived downtown right across from both of my clubs, 7 days a week, right?
Sure.
17, 18 hours a day, every day.
Wow.
Yeah. And just worked really, really, really hard, right? Again, that work ethic stemmed from my parents beating me into the job sites at a young age. So it didn't really feel like it was ever taking its toll for the most part, right? But then near the end, it did, right? Because there was a lot of years, a lot of hours. But, you know, that being something that I was looking at and saying, okay, if I got to be home with these kids in the evenings and on the weekends and be there for them as much as I can, this is not going to work in this industry.
Where does that leave you in that industry?
Yeah, because it was feet for service. Like you had to be there, you had to be on site,
For sure.
right?
You got to control a lot. You got 100 employees. It's not easy. One man.
Yeah. And I was always more the marketing and promoting arm, and then I had partners that would take care of operations. But yeah, I still had to be there. And at that point in time, I was like, okay, I got to find something else to do, you know, in a nutshell. And that's when I made the hop over to the finance industry in the mortgage space specifically, and started up Spark Financial Group, right? So
awesome.
Me and my partner Mikey, who's was with me at the tail end of the nightlife side of things.
Cool. You guys both came out into the
he made the jump with me. He has the institutional background and worked in the bank for many years. Nice. He's got his degree. He's the mortgage guy, you know? And he brings that real corporate, you know, approach into our firm, and I'm a lot more so business development, CEO, looking a few steps ahead, building the culture, the networking, the media, stuff like that. And together we just worked well together. We've always worked well together. We've always kind of hit it off and seen that, you know, we just get stuff done. It's like a two-headed dragon, and have really done well with it over the years. So he made the jump with me, and full service mortgage brokerage. So anything to do with, you know, the institutional lending, or the private lending, anything with the word mortgages we deal with. We got an awesome staff. We're at about 13 people right now, full time. And they're like, I blame all the success on them, right? We're big on hiring the experts to do what they're good at doing. So every department that we have, there's absolute experts that are in those positions. And I think the company's kicking butt the way it is because of them, right?
Yeah. It's amazing. Media, like just everything. Looks awesome.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
You built like an empire in such short time, from going to the entertainment business into now the mortgage group. It's amazing.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it.
Going off that a bit, bro. It's like, how did you ever take anything from your previous career that you still took and you put it into your new career? Like, were there a lot of things that passed over, or things that didn't?
Oh yeah, everything. Everything. It's just a different product, a different service that we're offering, but everything else is the same. The foundation and the fundamentals are all the same, right? So in regards to how to build a solid company culture, the accounting side of it, the legal side of it, the systems and processes, the being able to have it be that, you know, it's running like a well-oiled machine and very efficient. The relationships, the network, like the amount of people I've hosted over the 13 years, whether it was at one of my clubs or one of my events, whether they worked for me or they were a customer, like I don't even know how to put a number beside that. So in regards to, if you've always done right by people and you've always bent over backwards and you've always kind of like done your best, then that'll be something that, you know, whatever it is you're doing, they trust you. They trust what you're able to do for them, and how far you'll go out of your way to make stuff happen, irrelevant of the product or service. At that point in time, it was a drink, and it was getting them into a club or an event and providing an experience. You know, this time around, it's a mortgage, right? So, but they know Nicky's going to go out of his way and do whatever it takes to wrestle this file to the finish line, and we can trust him, right? So network was massive. But to answer your question, all aspects, for sure.
Makes sense, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, like, especially in the mortgage industry, it's a lot about trust with the products and stuff, you know. So to trust someone like you and putting a big group together like that, it shows a lot, you know. Like, people with that amount of network to trust you is big.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel very grateful and very appreciative that, you know, a lot of people hit me up and said, hey, Nicky, like, you know, look at this file, or take care of this for me, or here's my friend, or here's my mom, or here's my dad, or, you know, just really supportive, supportive. Like, I was overwhelmed with that and feel very grateful for people that came out of the woodwork where, you know, I had met them in the nightlife and they're trusting me with such a big transaction. And, I'm having a lot of fun with it, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess my next question would kind of be like going into, you know, I know you not just as a mortgage broker, but also as a podcast host yourself. Yeah. You're co-host with Mikey too, right? Yeah. So how's What Would It Cost going?
Yeah, What Would It Cost is great. Again, I blame the success on David Vielle and Joseph Tito. That's my CMO and my production manager. Cool. They head off the media department, so all the production and all the editing and the inviting of the guests and the intro emails, outro emails, all the clips that you provide them, the collabs, they take care of everything and do such a fantastic job at it.
For sure.
And it was actually my CMO's first initiative when he came through the doors of the company. He's like, listen, I'm not working here unless we're doing a podcast. And I was like, all right, cool, right? And at that point in time, me and my partner were like, we were really camera shy, bro, and we didn't really know how to come out of our shells and be like, hey, this is what's going on. So we were just like, we're always tripping, you know? Yeah. And he just busts in our doors with his phone on this camera. It's like, hey, bro, like, how does that look? Where's like, what's going on? Hey, like, where's that going? Right? And he'd just be like, shut up, right? Like, so you kind of like, you get broken out of your shell gradually, and then as you're old, it's just like, hey, start up the cameras. I don't know where this is going, but let whoever's got to see it, you know? Exactly. And I feel like he was such a vital part he was everything in pulling us out of our shell like that. And then David came along, and David's really got his finger on the pulse in regards to what's relevant and cutting edge and out there today. And podcasts are where a lot of people are getting their information from. They're where
it's true.
A lot of people are meeting other people, right? Exactly. And even if it's
building
not
connections.
Like this is how we met, right? It's like, hey man, this is awesome. Okay, cool, let's do it. And I'm sure there's gonna be a lot more to come from this relationship, right? You got an awesome furniture store, and we're doing some work where we could use some furniture, you know, 100%. And other people in our ecosystem now where we never had a link for furniture, now we do, right? So and so on and so forth, right? So it's just it's been awesome to in a nutshell, again, that podcast has been able to have us get in front of so many other business owners and just talk shop with them, but more so, again, get to know them and what their ecosystem is made up of, and one thing leads to another, right? So 100%. It's been great.
You get to learn from other people in the community. You get to learn their side of things, their story. It's a lot more than just one transaction to another person.
Oh, for sure, bro. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I do what you do, right? Is just sit there and ask questions, keep it guided. Yeah. So when I'm all ears and I'm listening, I'm doing a lot of learning as well.
You are. It's like, true.
It's crazy.
Not just the question. You're actually taking a lot of feedback from it.
Yeah. I'm learning so much, right? We got lawyers on there, we got realtors, we got brokers, we got lenders, we got everything that pertains to the real estate industry, right? And we're gonna have our furniture partner on there. You know what I mean? Sure, so it's and then I'm just taking it and I'm just listening. I'm like, I didn't know that. Okay, this is good, right?
It's good to know.
It serves as education. And for me, just again, like to rewind back a little bit, like I said, I wasn't the greatest in school, and I didn't really gravitate to it or take to it, but I do with podcasts. I listen. You know what I mean? Exactly. I'm attentive. Right? Yeah. I'm taking it in. So. Yeah, I encourage anyone who wants to create community and build network, and it's even if you're not in the entrepreneurial space, that's cool. Just rip a Potter, man, get her going. You know,
just have a conversation. That's all it is at the end of the day.
That's it. Yeah, just with a couple of these things in our mouth, right?
Exactly. Put a camera and you're good.
But What Would It Cost is awesome.
Yeah, it looks amazing. You guys put together an amazing platform.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that.
Anytime. Yeah. I mean, just go off what you're saying about like the whole school thing. Like I was the same, you know. Like as much as I still go to school, I'm still in university. I'm still keeping my head in that space just to fall onto something, because my head's always rolling into the entrepreneurial, because that's where my passion comes from.
Yeah.
As much as I can try in school, and might not be the best at it, grades never my thing either, but at the end of the day, just do what you love and the rest will come.
Yeah, 100%. Totally agree with that, bro.
Yeah.
Just fall in love with whatever it is you're doing, and the rest will follow.
Exactly.
For sure. Yeah.
And so what advice would you think you would give to somebody who's coming into your space, but not even as a host or like me, or to someone who's going into mortgage brokering?
Yeah.
What advice would you give to them who are trying to start, or maybe not as confident to go into it?
Yeah, any space, all sector, all industry, nothing specific. To go to your point, bro, find what it is you're passionate about, or something that you feel is calling you. Go with what your gut is, right? Something you've always wanted to try, or something that interests you, right? Take your time. Be mindful of the fact that once you do find that, like you said, right, you're gonna fall in love with it. And then you're going to do whatever it takes to continue to build it and to make it work. I love YouTube. I love social media platforms to take those little snippets of information. Right? I love the Hermosis. I love the Patrick Bet Davids. I love the Gary V's. I love it. They just give it to you so quick and direct, and it's good information, right? And it's
straight to the point.
And I love it. I love my YouTube videos. It's the age of information, man. Anything you Google, you can get. So anything you want to learn, just make sure to be on top of your social media platforms, right? And do it in a tasteful manner where you don't get obsessed with it, and time yourself on it. Don't consume too much. Be careful what you do follow, because a lot of it, isn't the greatest stuff, and will, it serves as kind of junk in your head, which you don't need. I'd say follow your gut. Find what it is your calling is. Then look on the social platforms and YouTube and the internet. Dive deep. See what these other rock star entrepreneurs are doing. Don't feel like you got to go into spaces if you're not an innovator, or you're not someone that likes inventing. Don't feel like you got to go in there and reinvent the wheel. Just simply look at what the best are doing. Follow that. Add your own little spin to it, right? So that it's custom to you and it's your vision that you're bringing. And hire on when you start scaling, right? And if that's in your vision, and that's what you want to do, right? Because being a solopreneur is cool too, but if it's something that you want to do when you are scaling, hire really, really good people that believe in your vision.
Can't be cheap.
No, and that do come at a cost, and never keep them capped. Never clip their wings. Always create incentive within. Always look for look out for their best interests, and they'll genuinely know and feel that, and it'll make them want to go that much harder, and have them add their spin on things in regards to adding to your vision, right? And it becomes everyone's vision, right? And what they bring to the table, and what the next guy brings to the table, it just makes it that much cooler of a vision, and then it inspires them and motivates them to want to go harder, and then you get to that end goal quicker, right? Like even with a lot of my employees, like some of my employees have made partner. Right, my senior underwriter moved into my fund manager, and he made partner this year. Right, so now he's an equity owner in our fund. Right, another example is someone started with me as a business development manager, and now he's my partner in Spark, Florida. So he's moving his family down to Florida, and he's going to operate our Florida brokerage. So internally, always create incentive for them to grow and to help, to build wealth and build onto their salary and bonuses as well. Because the sky's the limit, bro. If you take a look at any industry in any sector, look at the global market share. Understand what even a sliver of that is. That's enough to make everyone's in your company's families rich forever, right? So it's not like any industry really stinks of money more than the next, right? There's money to be made everywhere, and so it's the way you do it and the way you scale it I'm big on JVs and joint ventures and strategic partnerships,
For sure.
right? So how we have international vision, reason being why I think we can get around the globe to the extent that we can,
Like
as quickly as we can, is
Yeah.
through strategic partnerships, right? So
sure.
giving up equity of the business with, trusted individuals and wherever it is you want to grow to.
Yep.
And you go down there with your business model, right? Inject that into whatever space it is that you want to move in and give her, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but a big believer in strategic partnerships, keeping everyone incentivized, helping, allowing them to add what it is they want to the overall, so the vision becomes theirs as well, right?
Yeah.
All those things,
Has to be. They got to be motivated.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. Sorry to just throwing it all at
it's
you. It's a
awesome.
little all
It's
over the
awesome.
place, but if
That's
you
how it
could
is.
pick up some tips and tricks from there, that's great,
100%,
right? That's what I've done.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So tell me, has there ever been like a time that you've ever felt like you doubted what you were doing, or you thought that failure was coming and you just said, screw it, just keep going?
I think at the end of nightlife, I was feeling very. I was experiencing burnout. I was feeling this sense of guilt because I was out late at night and I wasn't spending too much time at home. And I was like, "Whoa! If I don't make the jump, I'm gonna be that guy." That's not home the way I want to be, right?
Yeah.
Which no judgment. If that goes to the
that's
beat
you,
of someone else's drum, cool. It's just not the way I want to rock.
For sure.
So I was that guilt and that shame, and then. Just that industry, if you're a young buck and you're giving her, you can handle it. You can wake up, fire up the next day. But as you get a little older, bro, you need some time
Coffee
to
doesn't
recover.
work
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah, like it'll beat you up, right? So I think near the tail end of that, the last year, 2-3 years, I was like, get me out of here. I don't know about this. And thank God I was feeling that way. And then my daughter came along, and then that just pushed me over the edge, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Good motivation for you.
Yeah. So it was good that my body was feeling that, right? And that I was having those doubts, because essentially it's what helped me move out of that space. And hard to do. Like at one point in time, the whole portfolio and what it was grossing and what it was netting was very sexy on an overall. Yeah. And it had become so easy for me because I had been doing it for so long and I had gotten so good at it, and I had built up a solid rep that makes it even harder to move out of that space, right? Yeah. So, I'm glad that I did feel that way near the tail end. But a lot of doubts then, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, tell me, Nick, have you ever, like, what is like the craziest moment, either in the entertainment business or in the mortgage side? What was the craziest moment for you that you still remember to today?
Craziest moment. There was a lot of crazy moments, but you guys want that shitstorm story? Is that what you're chasing? You the grand open of Gravity? Oh, man. There was, craziest in nightlife. In nightlife,
probably too many. Man,
there was like, dude, we would need to pitch a tent over here and stay here for a few weeks for me to get them all out.
Yeah.
The craziest story. Okay, this is one of them, right?
Okay.
I remember one night we were just giving her, and we were partying, and the whole crew was there. It was like when the whole squad pulled up, and it was like, all right, let's go. Right? It's that energy enters the room, right?
Yeah.
And we were having a good time. We're laughing. There's shots moving around everywhere, bottles. The club had closed down, but all the time, like I always used to keep my boys there, and whoever wanted to party, right? Like some of the staff was there. Yeah. Just take out all the booze from the cabinets and put it in the middle and go, right? So everyone was again. I'd keep the DJ back. He'd crank the tunes. We'd shut it down, and we'd go. And we were having a laugh. Things are progressing. It's like 5:30 in the morning now, right? And it's getting even more and more rowdy as the rest of the city's winding down. We're winding her up, right? Yeah. And I pulled out this bottle, right? Mm-hmm. I used to love playing this game. We used to pull out all the empty bottles, and we used to kick field goals in the middle of the club, dude. Yeah, we used to. Two of the guys would hold them on either side of that. Or on whatever side I wasn't on, right? Yeah. And I would just come down. And I'd give all the boys a shot at it, right?
Yeah,
if you guys want to go, right? And some of them were like, oh no, we feel bad because
we're gonna wreck it
all over the walls of the ceiling. Yeah, but we would just have so much fun. We weren't caring.
Yeah.
Bro, we were just kicking him this night, like one after the next. Must have been at least like 15, 20 bottles, bro. And then there's this, I remember this guy's like, dude, there's someone banging on the door.
No.
Right? And we're like, who's banging on the door? It's Frankie.
5 a.m.
6 a.m. I don't know, 6 a.m. Now it's like, who even knows, bro? The sun coming out, right?
Yeah.
Who's banging on? Okay, open it up. Maybe it's one of the boys. They went out for a smoke and got locked, right? Bro, it's the landlord.
Oh.
Because there was Shoppers Drug Mart upstairs, right?
And he was there?
So I guess the people that were opening up for Shoppers Drug Mart, they seen the bass bumping, right? Mm-hmm. And I guess they hear all these bottles shattering, right? No. And they seen, so the landlord comes in, and one guy's just in the midst of kicking the field. Oh, bro. So he's looking at all these people partying, and one guy just goes for the kick, and I'll never forget this guy's face. He looked at me like I should be put in a cage, bro. You know what I mean? And just locked up and thrown in the ocean, you know? Yeah, he was not impressed, bro. He shut that thing down real quick. I remember, yeah. I was in the doghouse a bit with him for a bit, but I was always good, right? We always paid our rent. It was always on time. We were cool guys, so he understood too. Like, it's a nightclub. Nicky's a little bit of a younger guy. He's having a blast, so yeah, it was cool. He was cool with it, but yeah, it was. I mean, what a scene, right? Like. Yeah, that was one of the many, brother. So
you can match that to one of your mortgage situations?
Very different story. You know what? As much as we bring like a real vibrant energy and like we are fun at work and in the space and we keep it light. Yeah, like there doesn't even compare the crazy stories there to the crazy stories here, right?
For sure. So yeah, different ball game.
Yeah, different ball game.
That's fun.
Yeah, we have our fun, but way different ball game.
Yeah. Good memories.
Yeah.
Cool.
Really good. Yeah.
Well, Nick, what would you give advice now? As one of the last questions. One of the biggest things I do is the lifestyle. You know, the podcast, but the lifestyle, the balance. So between being a husband, three children.
Yeah.
You know, being a CEO, a host, where's the balance between everything?
Yeah, so it's called the Wheel of Life for me. I take a look at the Wheel of Life, and my life coach is the one who taught me all about this, and who I continuously work with to keep it in check. So the Wheel of Life has different spokes on it, and those different spokes are essentially, if you allocate the right amount of time to each spoke, and everyone's different, right? Yeah. Then you'll be able to achieve balance. And some of those spokes look like health and fitness, right? Sure. So what you're doing in regards to the working out or the playing hockey, soccer, whatever sport it is you enjoy, right? Healthy. Keep the heart going, active and healthy. Another one is diet, right? Big part of feeling good and operating optimally is the food that you put in your system. If you eat well, and you're gonna live a long time, and you're gonna feel really good as you're doing it. Spirituality has become very, very big with me. So doesn't really matter who your God is or who my God is, your higher power. So something that is, bigger than us, right? Sure. Believing in that. Spirituality is absolutely massive. Friends, right? Making sure that you're always hanging out with your friends, no matter how busy you get, no matter how whatever's moving, happening in your life. If you can always make time to hang with your friends and have a laugh and just do what you do with your friends. Family is massive. That is the backbone. That is the foundation.
I know it is for sure.
That is everything, bro. Yeah. There's nothing like family out there. So to stay connected to that, and again, no matter how much money you're making, no matter how busy you get, no matter what, family, man. Yeah. Career, obviously, everyone's got to pay the bills. Whether that's something that you're happy with, just clocking in at 9 to 5, then making your money and going home, that's cool, bro. Yeah. Take it seriously, whatever it is, and however much it is you get paid, take it seriously, right? And just spokes like that, right? And I have a color-coded calendar. Okay. So I'm very big on time management. Yep, and each color is a different spoke. Okay. So I'm able to pre-program my calendar at the beginning of the week, and I'm able to see, if the colors are
matching up.
and if it's not just all one color, right? Because
exactly.
again, even if it's all career and you're making all this money, I don't believe in that. You're gonna burn out. You're not gonna feel complete. You're not gonna be happy. The sense of fulfillment it's not there, right? Or anything in particular. You're doing too much of having fun and hanging with your buddies. Or you're doing too much of family, and you forget that you got to go make money and pay the bills, right? So
stay home with mom.
Yeah. The wheel of life, though, bro. The wheel of life and all the spokes that come with it. Very important that you practice that.
For sure, it's true.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, to stay balanced. Yeah, and if you can, stay away from all the bad stuff. You know, just do as much as you can in regards to keeping it in moderation if you are going to do it. But try to stay away from it as much as possible because it just doesn't bring on anything good. You know?
No.
Yeah.
They know. Yeah. Doesn't lead down a good path.
Never does. Leads you to kicking field goals in your basement at 6:30 a.m. in the morning.
Landlord knocking out.
Pissing your landlord off. Yeah.
Fun times, I'm sure.
Yeah, good times. No regrets. Zero regrets. Because if I have one thing that I say, I'd like to go back and change that, it could have changed where I am today. But I'm so happy where I am today that it's like, no, dude, I'm good with everything that I've done, even the craziest of things, right? Sure. So it put me where I am today, and I'm very grateful as to where I am today.
Awesome.
Sitting right in front of you in this badass furniture store and your friend here, with this little cool TLP community that you guys are going to kick some serious ass with, and that I'm happy to be a part of in one of its first episodes, because this thing's gonna make waves, and I could say that I was one of the first guests over here, right?
100%. I can say that too.
Absolutely.
We can say that. It's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for coming, Nick.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, bro.
Take care.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that was good. That was solid, man.